Welcome back to the Young Professional video blog, sponsored by Dale Carnegie Training and Dixon Schwabel. Today our guest is a recognized expert in the not-for-profit sector. She led the implementation of the first national standard for community foundations. She was also selected to attend the 1999 White House Conference on Philanthropy. In 2007, the Rochester Business Journal named her one of the top 20 business people who has made an impact in our community. Please welcome the president of the Rochester Area Community Foundation, Jennifer Leonard. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Herb.
Well, we're happy to have you here. You know, when entering the not-for-profit sector and the time frame that you entered it, there was a perceived glass ceiling for women. What did you do as a young professional to overcome this glass ceiling?
Oh, thanks for asking, Herb. I started out in a very supportive setting in the Los Angeles Heart Association and was promoted very quickly to the national office, where there were 15 men in the top echelon. And you only then got to my boss, who was a woman. But she was a wonderful role model, and she basically stuck up for us together. And in the end, we both ended up leaving for greener pastures. So part of the way to break a glass ceiling is to do an end run around it. The other part is to look for people who are willing to promote you. I had mentors who were both men and women. I had bosses who were both good and bad. But at the end of the day, the ones who are willing to promote you, who are willing to send you to training, the ones who coach you, those are the ones you want to keep. And frankly, you can overlook a lot in a boss if they are looking to raise you up. And I was fortunate that I found or gravitated to those people who helped me advance my career.
How did that help you when you were advancing your career and you were gravitating towards those bosses? How did you seek them out?
Oh, that's a good question. They usually sought me out.
Okay.
I was very lucky. People would become aware of me and approach me about jobs. So I was lucky. After graduate school, I looked around for a job and was not successful. I was in a 10% unemployment climate, which is very
similar to today. Yeah,
exactly. And Southern California had lost lots of aerospace jobs. I was not successful in finding work. I had worked temp jobs and finally got a part-time job at a child care center where I volunteered for a day doing tax forms.
Wow.
A connection I made through my college alumni club.
Really?
Yes. So basically, take anything as a way to stay occupied, and the people you meet will connect you to the next opportunity. I ended up going back to an internship center where I had worked in graduate school. And I said, you know, I didn't think the Heart Association was the most glamorous place to work when I was in graduate school, but I've been unemployed mostly for 6 months, and you guys are looking really good to me now. So I went back, and I applied for that. Then I applied for the job at the national office. So in some respects, I was very lucky in the bosses I found in those two settings.
How did you get to the job that you have currently?
I was recruited by a member of the board here who wanted me to be part of the search. I had been a consultant in the field nationally for 5 years and doing lots of bread and butter annual reports and newsletters for community foundations, basically marketing and development consulting. But consulting isn't everything because you don't get to pick up the phone and make things happen the way you do in my job. So I decided not to be a consultant the rest of my life and started looking for CEO positions. And as I said, this was the third one that I interviewed for. And it continues to renew itself as the years go by, the staff change, our work changes, our focus, and we've done very well, and I am thrilled to still be here a number of years later.
Look at the state of our economy, and our city being at a $43.9 million deficit. and our state's at a $9 billion deficit, which means less funding goes to non-for-profits. What could a young professional do during this time of crisis within our economy?
Boy, that's a tough question, Herb. I think young professionals have an advantage because they are eminently affordable. In a tight employment market, a young professional is less expensive to hire, more trainable. They come with fewer biases, and they're more portable. They do move on quickly sometimes, but then they have an easier time bouncing. They aren't as invested. They have fewer things to move. If they move, they haven't acquired the clutter of a lifetime, and often not the family yet. So part of it is they have an advantage of being agile in a difficult economy. Nonprofits are facing slow state payments right now.
Yes.
They will get cuts from the state. They will get cuts from the city. And that will lead them to lay people off. But they tend to do it surgically. They tend not to do last person in. They tend to do which program has been defunded. So a young professional can still get in and make a good impression, work very hard, and they have a chance of hanging on. Even if they don't, they will have started building a resume. You can do the same thing as a volunteer. Let's say in this market, there aren't a lot of nonprofit jobs. If you volunteer for a nonprofit that you care about, you will gain leadership experience. You can learn how to run a fundraising program, and there are lots of jobs for people who know how to do fundraising.
Even if you're not looking to get into the non-for-profit sector, why is it important for a young professional to be involved in the non-for-profit sector?
There are a lot of both personal and professional reasons to be active in the nonprofit world, even outside your day job, which maybe is an executive in, or a young junior rising executive in a business. First of all, you will meet people outside your business who may be useful to you in your career. That may be very helpful. You will meet people from different kinds of work lives and learn about how they approach things. You will have the opportunity to have leadership opportunities earlier, very possibly, than you may find them at work. So you can learn how committee work runs, learn to facilitate, learn how to make decisions in a collective process. Teamwork's very important on the job. It's modeled all the time in the volunteer sector. And at the end of the day, you are also making your neighborhood better, or your church or school or world better. That will help you sleep better at night. I think it works very well to find a few friends and get involved together. You can carpool, which is green. And you can get each other's backs in terms of building a project or a habitat house, or becoming part of a giving circle, as the Next Gen members have at the Community Foundation. I find at the end of the day that peers are very important with young adults, and their social networking is very important. And if what you're social networking about is also good for the community, it's much like the triple bottom line we talk about with socially responsible businesses. The person is feeling better, they're with their friends, and they're making the world better. And there isn't anything much better than that, Herb.
What do you like to do when you're not promoting philanthropy? What are you doing for fun?
Tennis. That's an easy answer. I play tennis avidly. I'm an avid reader, both for professional reading and also plain old nonfiction. I recommend the new Ken Follett. And I am increasingly discovering new ways to use my time now that my two daughters have left home and gone. And so you will see me increasingly living life the way that you do, perhaps.
Well, yeah.
Or sort of.
Yeah. Well, you got to have fun, right?
That's right. You got to have fun. And empty nesters, watch. We travel. I travel a lot. I took my daughter to Ireland last
wow.
August to get her settled for a semester abroad at Trinity College. And then I took off and drove on the left for 10 days and survived to tell the story. I had a wonderful time. I went hiking in the national parks in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And I loved that. So I love traveling with my husband, but clearly I also have a calling as the intrepid American tourist, so all by myself.
That is fun. So tell me, what other kind of advice would you give a young professional that is looking to grow their career?
You clearly need to work hard and get a reputation for being willing to work hard. It's okay to have a life too. Nobody wants a sourpuss workaholic as a worker, but you need to be reliable and have a reputation that you cultivate and build as somebody that other people want to be around, who is responsible, who carries out what they say. So you have to learn not to promise more than you can accomplish, or to call somebody and let them know early if you can't deliver, so that they always know that when you said you would do it, it will be there on time and it will be done well. That reputation alone will get you recommendations and referrals and jobs. It will give you the self-confidence in return to do well in interviews. So I thoroughly believe that we make our own destiny. That you have the work life that you want, and you have to decide that you want to be successful, and then you can go out and achieve it.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming today, Jennifer.
Well, it's my pleasure, Herb. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thank you. Our next guest is the Executive Director of the Rochester Area Housing Authority, Alex Castro. Again, a special thanks to Dixon Schwabel for providing all of the video production, and the Democrat and Chronicle for hosting us on their website. Thank you again, and make it a great day.